and the bear was in my car, and I didn't want to leave the bear in the car. And I said, I had an old bike in my car that somebody had asked me to get rid of it. I said, let's go put the bear in Central Park, and we'll make it look like he got hit by a bike.
Ain't nothing changed, nothing new here to see. This ain't nothing but some political maneuvering. America, welcome to the eulogy, eat it up. It's called political buffoonery.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to This Week in DUMBmocracy, where we showcase some of the dumbest newsmakers of the week. I've been doing this political content creation stuff for a little over a decade now. I thought I've seen it all, but man, this 2024 election cycle, my God, the things we've seen this year alone is absolutely nuts. We've seen an attempted assassination of a former president. We've seen a current president, an incumbent, dropping out of the race. We've seen a candidate emerge who never earned a single vote in a primary. But this story takes the cake, folks. I'm talking about the story of RFK Jr. and a bear. This one beats them all, folks. We're going to talk about this really bizarre story from RFK Jr. that answers a decade-old mystery. But before we get to all of that, please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other shows. And if you like what you see in here in this or any other video on the channel, you guys know what to do already. You got to smash that thumbs up button with your big old bear claw. Like, share the show with your friends, comment, all that good stuff, because all that feeds the YouTube algorithm.
Yes, it must feed.
As always, thank you guys so much for all that you do to help support the channel. And by the way, another way for you to support us is by checking out all the merch in our store at shop.buffoonertheweek.com or under the store tab for the channel here on YouTube. We added some new designs, including our Kamala Chameleon shirt, as well as another way to show that you are anti-DUMBmocracy. All the grifting's out of the way now, folks, so don't worry about that. We're going to get into this story that may be the most bizarre story of the presidential election cycle this year. And if you've been following along, you know that's saying something. To give you the proper context for this really bizarre campaign story that RFK volunteered in a video, no less, we need to go back in time to 2014 to this NBC News story when a bear carcass mysteriously was discovered in Central Park.
The discovery of a black bear by a dog walker just a few feet from Central Park's main jogging and bike path today was alarming and strange, especially for New Yorkers like Helen Zokanich, who's come here almost every day for decades. How unusual is that?
Very unusual. I've never seen a bear. I mean, I've lived in New York City all my life, and I've gone to Central Park with different dogs. I mean, I've never seen a bear.
Raccoons and other things, but not bears, lots of dogs.
The NYPD is investigating and quickly told us there are no reports of any bears missing from the Central Park Zoo, quashing the first theory from passersby like the cyclists and pedicabs.
We have a little small zoo, but in the zoo we don't have a bear. Maybe escape from there. But
They're saying there's no animals missing from the zoo.
right, it's a big surprise. I don't know.
And nobody knew. This remained a mystery for a good long while here. They even had to send the bear up to get some sort of necropsy or bear autopsy, whatever they want to call it. There was a lot of interest in what happened here. How is there a black bear in Central Park, first of all? How did it get there? What was it doing there? How did it end up dead? And what's the cause of all this? Fast forward to present day, and RFK Jr., who is now an independent candidate for president, voluntarily uploaded this video of a discussion he was having with Roseanne Barr about a black bear encounter he had right around the time of this discovery in Central Park.
Things are gonna get weird.
I was taking a group of people falconing up in Goshen, New York, up in the Hudson Valley. And I was supposed to meet them there at like maybe 8 or 9. I was driving up maybe, really early, like 7. And that woman in a van in front of me hit a bear and killed it.
Oh, that's sad.
A young bear. So I pulled over and I picked up the bear and put him in the back of my van because I was going to skin the bear.
What? Excuse me?
And it was very good condition, and I was going to put the meat in my refrigerator. And you can do that in New York State. You can get a bear tag for a roadkill bear.
Now, I know what you're thinking.
Oh, I'm feeling nauseous.
This is a Kennedy. This is political royalty. This is old political royalty in the Democratic Party. And this is a story you expect to hear on like Duck Dynasty or something like that. Not exactly the sort of image that has been portrayed of the Kennedy family for decades and decades. Full disclosure, by the way, I once interned for a Kennedy back in the mid-90s. So I got a closer view to the family, and this was not the image that I was led to believe when I was interning there. That being said, RFK Jr. has already proven himself to be a lot different than his relatives. Just to add this to the list, I guess.
And so then we went hawking, and I had the bear in my car. And then we had a really good day, and we went late. We were catching a lot of game, and the people really loved it, so we stayed late. And instead of going back to my home in Westchester, I had to go right to the city because there was a dinner at Peter Luger's steakhouse.
Now, see, that's more of the image you think of when you think of the Kennedys, but really, one moment you're picking a roadkill bear off the road, the next moment you're falconing with friends and catching game, and the next moment you're at an important dinner at Peter Luger's. My goodness.
And at the end of the dinner, it went late, and I realized I couldn't go home. I had to go to the airport. And the bear was in my car, and I didn't want to leave the bear in the car, because that would have been bad.
It smells like something died in here.
So then I thought, at that time, this was a little bit of the redneck in me.
I don't like where this is headed.
There'd been a series of bicycle accidents in New York. They had just put in the bike lanes. And so a couple of people had gotten killed, and it was every day, and people had gotten badly injured. Every day it was in the press. And so I thought, I wasn't drinking, of course, but people were drinking with me who thought this.
Okay, that's a little suspicious right there. I wasn't the one drinking, but all my friends were around me. And, well, just listen to this plan that was hatched.
It's a good idea. And I said, I had an old bike in my car that somebody had asked me to get rid of it. I said, let's go put the bear in Central Park and we'll make it look like he got hit by a bike. It'll be funny for people. So everybody thought, that's a great idea.
You're batshit crazy.
That's a great idea. We're going to stage a crime scene. We got this broken down bike. We got this dead bear cub. I can't keep it in my car because it's going to stink it up. And I got to go to Peter Luger's, so let's stage a crime scene.
And it's so crazy that it just might work.
Nobody's going to think that's suspicious. Bikers are getting into accidents all the time. This man wants to be president of the United States, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of your choices out there. Consider these choices wisely.
We went and did that, and we thought it would be amusing for whoever found it or something.
Oh yeah, grand joke here. It would be amusing. A bunch of scamps with a carcass of a bear and a broken bicycle. Everybody's going to think it's a joke. Nobody's going to think it's anything bad. I understand this was 10 years ago and whatever, but man, this post 9/11, this isn't something people are just going to laugh off. In fact, it stayed in the news for a long time, and I'm surprised he didn't get caught up in this. Imagine if the story would have broken in 2014. The controversy would have been Kennedy embroiled in staging bear accident or something. Could you imagine?
The next day, it was like, it was on every television station. It was the front page of every paper. And I turned on the TV and there was like a mile of yellow tape and there were 20 cop cars. There were helicopters flying over it. And I was like, oh my God, what did I do?
Oh my God, shit got real, shit got real, shit got real!
And then they were there was some people on TV in tie-back suits with gloves on lifting up the bike, and they're saying they're going to take this up to Albany to get it fingerprinted.
Could you imagine if they would have followed through with that and fingerprinted the bike and it would have come up Robert F. Kennedy Jr.? Oh my goodness, that would have been one of the most sensationalized stories of the year.
And I was worried because my prints were all over that bike.
Do you see the faces Roseanne Barr is giving? I mean, it's got to be hard to shock Roseanne. She's probably seen it all from the comedy clubs in the 80s and 90s and being canceled recently, the decades and decades in Hollywood. She seems pretty shocked by all this, and I got to think it's hard to shock Roseanne.
Luckily, the story died down after a while, and it stayed dead for a decade. And the New Yorker somehow found out about it, and they're going to do a big article on me, and that's one of the articles. So they asked me, the fact checker said, it's going to be a bad story. Right?
I think it's a great story.
It's going to be a bad story, or it might be a great story. Who the hell knows with this wacky election cycle? But I got to say, I didn't have this one on my bingo card this year. Like what you see so far? Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show. I got nothing, folks. I have no analysis for this. I have no pithy remarks. I have no references in my book about a story about a presidential candidate dumping a bear carcass in Central Park. I got absolutely nothing to offer you for this except my amazement that this election cycle keeps getting wackier and wackier by the moment. We have, about 90 days or so, maybe a little more, till the election?
You can't take much more of this.
We've had trials, we've had convictions of crime, we've had the Supreme Court involved, we've had assassination attempts, we've had incumbents withdrawing, party nominees and designees everywhere. And now this.
And let me see, what else could we pile on? Is there any more shit we could pile on to the top of the outcome of this case? Is it possible?
What else is coming at us? I have no clue, but I'm here for it. And man, did I pick the right time to make a channel about political buffoonery. Pat's on back for me on this.
I'm a visionary.
I don't know what the numbers are going to say about this story. Do you think voters are going to embrace RFK Jr. for his shenanigans and hijinks from 10 years ago? Are they going to be aghast and amazed and just dismayed by this? And who leaked the story to the New Yorker, might I ask? This isn't the first time, by the way, we've seen RFK Jr. around bizarre people. We did a video last year about an argument that happened at like a fundraising dinner between two very extravagant people, two very just big personalities that are in New York society, I guess. I'm going to put that video in the upper right-hand corner of the screen so you can talk about that one. So you'll see that this isn't the first time that RFK Jr. has been embroiled in weirdness. Not even controversy, really. Just weird stuff. Really, really weird stuff. And again, this isn't what you expect from a political royal family, especially an older one like the Kennedys. You think of Hyannisport. You think of Martha's Vineyard. You think of, controversy in their lives and all that, of course. But you think about upper class people. You don't think about taking roadkill bears off the street and throwing them in the back of your car. Will this help RFK Jr.? I have no clue. Is this going to affect the numbers? I have no idea if this is going to skew good for Trump, skew good for Harris, skew good for RFK Jr.
This country's gone haywire. I don't know itself no more.
I got literally nothing to add to the political analysis of this story other than to say, what's the October surprise going to be? It's all crazy this year. It's topsy-turvy. I've never seen an election cycle like this, but I'm here for the ride, and I hope that you guys are too. If you are, let's get into the comments and talk about this video. And as always, like and share the video with your friends, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other shows, and check out the merch options, the new shirts that are out there. Check them all out at shop.buffooneryoftheweek.com. And please, keep coming back, because What the hell else is going to happen this year? Let's talk about this video and all the other shenanigans and buffoonery happening every day this week in DUMBmocracy.
All views and opinions expressed here are not necessarily of the mainstream media and may offend some listeners. It's called political buffoonery.